A cargo ship flying the Russian flag, Port Olya 4, transporting ammunition and drone equipment from Iran, partially sank after a Ukrainian drone strike on August 14, the UK Ministry of Defense reports, citing satellite imagery. Olya is a Russian seaport in Astrakhan Oblast. It has served as a link for transporting Iranian-made military goods, including Shahed-series drones and ammunition, across the Caspian Sea into Russia. Russia uses its Shaheds, both supplied from Iran and produced domestically, to attack Ukrainian cities every day. The targeted vessel, identified as Port Olya 4, was reportedly loaded with Shahed-type drone components and ammunition. Earlier, Euromaidan Press wrote that the operation might have been a sabotage mission, unless the SOF has begun operating long-range aerial drones like those used by the Unmanned Systems Forces, the HUR intelligence agency, or the SBU security service. Analysts note that the successful attack on a vessel located approximately 640 kilometers from Ukraine demonstrates the effectiveness of regular deep drone strikes carried out by Ukrainian forces into Russian territory. Russian air defenses face difficulties in protecting both military and industrial targets from Ukrainian drones. According to British intelligence, Iran has supplied Russia with artillery shells, ballistic missiles, and combat drones, as well as supported domestic UAV production. However, in 2025, Russia's reliance on Iranian assistance likely decreased due to the growth of its own drone production. Russia confirmed that the Port Olya 4 was sunk. However, the Russians claim that there was no military cargo on board. According to Russian data, the ship was attacked by 14 drones. The Russians claim to have shot down 10 of them, but the rest were enough to sink the ship. In the pictures, the Port Olya 4 seems to be almost entirely underwater, very clearly not easily salvageable. More than likely, it will become scrap metal in the near future. The Port Olya 4 was about 123 meters long, a general cargo ship. Definitely suitable for military cargo, even though there is no confirmed data of what was inside, if anything. The Port of Olya in Russia's Astrakhan region is reachable for Ukrainian drones. The distance to territories controlled by Ukraine is around 850 kilometers, but Ukrainians have proved multiple times that they do have long-range drones that can cover that. And even if these drones were launched from somewhere closer, it was still the Ukrainians as they claimed responsibility.
The only way to force Russia to leave the occupied territories in Novorossiya, Donbass and Crimea is by force. This was stated by the former commander of NATO's joint forces in Europe, Wesley Clark. According to him, this requires properly warming up the Western community. They respond to military power. If you stop them at the border, push them back, they will retreat. That's what you have to do, Clark noted. He added that the forceful scenario for resolving territorial disputes must be carefully prepared. Western countries must be united. They must show the determination of their citizens. Polls must show that the majority of people in Germany, France, Britain, America, and Italy want the Russians to be pushed back. They want Ukraine to remain a free and independent country, stressed the former commander of NATO's joint forces in Europe. Developing his idea, he noted that Western politicians must secure public support and conclude the right agreements. Statesmen must agree to sending troops to Ukraine and supplying weapons and air defense systems. Recall that leading European countries and the United States are currently trying to develop a mechanism for providing security guarantees to Ukraine after the end of the conflict with the Russian Federation. However, as the Western press writes, there is no unity on this issue among the leaders of the states. For example, German political circles do not support the desire of German Chancellor Friedrich Merz to take part in ensuring Ukraine's security. Italy, as reported, is also against sending European troops to the territory controlled by Kiev. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told European counterparts the US will participate in post-war security guarantees for Ukraine, but the Trump administration believes Europe should take the lead, according to a European diplomat familiar with the call. During a call with European national security advisors, Rubio, who is also President Donald Trump's acting national security advisor, did not provide details on specific security guarantees to which the US might commit, the diplomat said. The US has indicated it is open to playing a limited role in providing security guarantees to Ukraine if a peace deal is reached with Russia, which could potentially see US pilots flying manned air support missions. Sources familiar with discussions with allies told CNN Trump has ruled out deploying US troops on the ground, but the US and its allies are combing through a range of other options, the sources said. The main military investigative directorate of the Investigative Committee of the Russian Federation has completed its investigation into criminal cases of fraud with wounds and state awards in 83rd Separate Guards Airborne Assault Brigade. As a result of investigative actions, according to Kommersant, 35 participants in illegal actions were identified. According to the investigation, the servicemen, in order to receive payments, committed actions simulating injuries and also reported their exploits to the media. Thus, more than 200 million rubles were illegally obtained. The most well-known defendants, former commander of the Airborne Assault Brigade, Artem Gorodilov, and head of the Special Operations Group, Konstantin Frolov, admitted guilt and testified against their fellow soldiers. The revealed facts led to a change in the procedure for payments for military injuries in the SVO. Payments became differentiated and depend on the severity of the injury, amounting to from 1 million to 3 million rubles. The severity is determined by the Military Medical Commission. As a result of the revealed facts related to illegal payments and awards, the procedure for payments to military personnel who were wounded during a special military operation was changed from November 2024. The amount of payments became differentiated and depends on the severity of the injury established by the Military Medical Commission. The criminal cases are being heard by the Luhansk Garrison Military Court. According to the investigation, the fraud was carried out by simulating injuries and submitting fictitious applications for payments and awards. Recalled recently, a Russian military court has sentenced Major General Denis Putilov, the former head of the Central Military District's Armored Vehicle Service, to 8.5 years in a maximum security penal colony, after finding him guilty of accepting a large bribe linked to a state defense contract. The 46-year-old officer was also stripped of his rank and barred from holding senior government positions for 6 years after his release, the investigative committee said in a statement. Prosecutors said that between 2023 and 2024, the Defense Ministry signed contracts worth more than 140 million rubles or $1.76 million with a private contractor identified as an entrepreneur named Chudinov to repair and service military vehicles. As the official overseeing the contracts, General Putilov allegedly accepted a 10 million ruble or US $126,000 bribe from Chudinov in exchange for general patronage. Investigators said the contracts were never fulfilled, causing significant losses to the state.